illegal border crossings in Canada are still open to illegal immigrants coming into the country. Do you think now is the time to at least erect temporary fencing to stem the flow of these migrants until the coronavirus is sorted out?
Hell no.
Well, it's no leaf snow. The raptors are extinct once again. The Blue Jays' flight has been delayed, and, well, just about every sports league, it seems, around the world is shutting down due to the coronavirus. Now, it's a voluntary shutdown, and I'm just curious what people here in downtown Toronto have to say about that. And also, if these sports leagues are shutting down, why is it that there are still illegal migrants coming into Canada at border crossings such as Roxham Road on a daily basis? Surely isn't now the time to at least temporarily erect a fence to make sure that we do indeed have this virus under control? In any event, I'm here in downtown Toronto to ask people here what they think of the sports league shutting down and whether or not the federal government is doing enough in its power to stem the spread of this virus. All the major sports leagues are shutting down voluntarily because of the coronavirus. Do you think this is a prudent caution, or is it an overreaction?
I think it's pretty prudent. I think the federal government's been pretty clear about how we should take certain precautions, and one of them is social distancing.
It's not that serious as to shut down sports, shut down schools, things like that, but it's a good precautionary measure.
You got to do it. You got to stop the spread of this thing, yeah. It's a pandemic. You got to stop it. Try to stop it. Yeah, it's spreading way too fast.
I realize we won't get to see sports we want to see, but I think it's they're being very responsible.
It's unfortunate. I think it's something that has to be done, though, when you have all the players and their families and their wives and their kids. So they're taking the right precaution. I think we just got to nip this in the bud,
It's not an overreaction in your opinion?
No, I don't think so.
It's a very good idea. I think it's the best thing they can do. It's unfortunate that people are going to miss a lot of the action, but it's the best thing they can do for the current circumstances, for sure.
It's not an overreaction in your opinion then?
No, I think it's better to do it early than later.
Leagues.
We have to take certain safety measures to not spread it any further.
So even though you're disappointed, you understand?
It's a smart decision.
Yeah, it's better to be safe than sorry, right? Because they could get worse if we don't take these measures, right? So
now, a lot of people, these are all voluntary measures by the pro sports leagues, of course, and a lot of people are criticizing the federal government for not doing enough to ensure public safety. For example, illegal border crossings in Canada are still open to illegal immigrants coming into the country. Do you think now is the time to at least erect temporary fencing to stem the flow of these migrants until the coronavirus is sorted out?
Hell no.
No? Okay, then why is that?
Because I heard that a lot of people in Mexico don't even have the coronavirus, or that it's not spreading that much in Mexico, you know what I mean? It's basically everywhere at this point, you know what I mean? What can you do about it? What is building a wall going to do?
I'm just curious if you would agree that maybe it's a good time for the federal government to fence off illegal border crossings to prevent...
100%. Yes. I would say 100% because I think we should shut down everything, including flights. I think every country should is it quarantine or quarantine? Quarantine both of themselves, just because it is a problem. It is a problem 100%. It should be a concern. And I think that, the measures should be taken 100%. When it comes to borders and things like that, 100%.
Let someone come in and quarantine them. If they don't want to, put them in quarantine for a couple of weeks, and if they pass, then let them in, I guess.
Well, if they don't do it now, when they gonna do it? Yeah. It's madness, right?
I don't think that shutting it down will help anything, because we have cases here, we have cases all across the world. So shutting it down is not really gonna do anything, and investing our money into shutting that down instead of putting our money into finding the cure. I think that's where our focus should be, not into stopping other people, but finding a cure.
I'm not sure if I have a comment regarding the people at the borders. I do think that this liberal government needs to take a little more of a firm stance I think that we should definitely be monitoring the situation at our airports and travel a little more. I think we should tighten things around that. But with respect to the borders, I'm not entirely sure. I think we should be vigilant. I think there are people out there who exist who take advantage of situations like this, who might try and pull a quick one on the government or for certain agencies. But
I won't speak to that because I don't have the acumen for that. But I do think that it is necessary to just understand what measures need to be taken. But I can't speak to that because I don't have the acumen for that.
I think that's a much bigger question, and I think that's why it's taking so long to get something going. I think don't want to send the wrong message.
That would send the wrong message. Offense?
Yeah.
No, not really. I mean, I think that this refugee situation, it's kind of a double-edged sword in the sense that I think there's people that deserve to come to Canada, and I think there's people that are cheating the system and coming into Canada that way.
Well, there you have it, folks. It seems that the consensus here in downtown Toronto is that it's a prudent move for the major league sports organizations to shut down their leagues in light of the coronavirus fears. And when it comes to the idea of the federal government getting tougher on border security, well, that seems to be, in the opinion of most people, an overreaction. So if you ever wonder why Toronto went predominantly Liberal, I think this Streeter assignment might be one indicator of how that vote swung. Also, there was a person that came by me and bragged that he was coronavirus positive. I really, really, really hope he was joking, but here in the bosom of downtown Toronto, one never knows. For Rebel News, I'm David the Menzoid Menzies. Folks, unlike so many members of the mainstream media, Rebel News doesn't receive a single nickel in government funding, nor would we take it if offered. We depend on your donations to keep us telling the other side of the story. So if you can indeed make a donation, please visit rebelnews.com/donate. That's rebelnews.com/donate. And keep the rebel going.